Finance is dead. Long life to digital finance this time. I never thought it would sound a bit silly when I first wrote it down when I was preparing for my TEDx. But hey, let me explain what I mean by that. But first of all, I shall introduce myself. Hello, everyone. My name is, as been said, Amine Harifi, and I worked as a private banker, trader, and now I'm an entrepreneur. During my experiences at Barclays, H&P Capital Management, and along with other worldwide organizations, financial ones, it became clear to me, and throughout time, digitalization, social media, news, fake or genuine, are taking over our understanding of the market. We trade nowadays by an information impact up in the market, regardless of any fundamental analysis given. The digital world and digitalization is changing everything. It's changing relationships, states, jobs, and the impact in the money value and the financial area is even greater. It's not about profits, but more about building relationships. It's not about trades, but more about adding values. It's not about commerce anymore, but more about comments, shares, and even likes sometimes. Because believe it or not, you can make money out of it. But for a deeper understanding of the digital world of today, let's go back in time so we can understand where we come from. I quite remember a few years ago when I was preparing for my master's in London, I remember a great financial professor who started his lecture by saying, and I quote him, he said, "Guys, finance is really simple. You only have to remember 2 rules only. Rule number 1, make money. Rule number 2, make sure you remember rule number 1. And that was it, actually. Yeah. Because finance was about that. Rules were really simple. We didn't have to do much. We just had to make decisions and trades, open, big informations, brought by softwares like Bloomberg, Reuters, the bank bought for us. That cost millions. And they were computing, analyzing, and giving to us all the information that we needed, and we had just to buy, short, modify, or maintain our position in the market. Mostly easy, don't you think? Yeah, actually it was. But a hard arbitrage, it becomes when you have to make decisions, trades, in the financial area, open events, tastes, even rumors and events again. It became harder for us in 2009 when SARS came, the subprime crisis I'm talking about, the world crisis. We were facing major questions, and it was really tough because everything's changed, the process has changed, and yet we were playing by the same rules. We were stuck, hopeless, useless with our understanding of the market, and yet we were playing by the same rules again. We didn't know what to do, neither did our superiors. And we were facing major, severe, hard questions at that time, because everyone was blaming the financial guy, right? Some faced, some were fired with the downsizing, some were reassigned or changed of jobs, like me, maybe jailed in some extreme cases. And but at that time, few newcomers made money out of that whole mess. These newcomers are geeks, IT experts, who changed the finance profoundly. They created new codes, new process to finance to operate. And the digital wasn't a support, it was the finance, in the heart of finance this time. Crowdfunding, blockchain, bitcoins, FinTech, which is financial, it's a combined word, finance and technology, which is FinTech, became the new technical words. They brought those words, and they came up with a new whole process because there was a need, and the need was ethical, cheap, free, trusted network to operate within. And Satoshi Nakamoto, between 2007 2009, I think, he developed the blockchain technology and the Bitcoin's currency. And he came with a new process for finance to operate. So I'm just here I'm just going to make a comparison between what we used to do, what we believe, I mean, even now, still in some countries, in some, in financial areas, and the difference in the blockchain and the Bitcoin's technology. So about a few years ago, when I was a banker, I mean, a transfer used to take us 5 to 10 working days, Monday to Friday, with limited days to proceed. 5 days a week. 5 days a week is 253 days a year. Whereas with the blockchain technology and the Bitcoin's money, you can transfer peer-to-peer in real time in a trusted network with almost zero costs, millions in a Sunday morning. Again, how is that for a change? Well, it changes everything. But don't get me wrong when I talk about a new revolution. The new revolution is more about the blockchain, not the Bitcoins, because I want to explain it later. The Bitcoins, it's not a major component of the financial system and the economy yet. Banks like BBVA, UBS, Santander, Citi, and Barclays, my previous bank, are developing inside. And I'm talking again about the blockchain technology, because it wipes out a whole supply chain system. You have a trusted network to operate within, very cheap, possibly unhacked still till now, because it's not stored in a server, it's everywhere, it's on the net, right? But what about the Bitcoins now? To talk about Bitcoins, I want to give some numbers and some figures, because I think they matter. And here we go. We have here, that's the money supply in 2016, that's the Bitcoins, it's really small as you can see, and that's M1. I'm just comparing here the money supply in Bitcoins in 2016 in America, USD, US dollars, and here with M1. M1 is just a name, it's just an aggregate, to measure. It's coins and banknotes, that's it. And M2, it's M1 plus the quasi-liquid assets. The quasi-liquid assets is the credit cards, saving accounts, money that you have in bank, and quasi-liquid assets, again, like shares that you can sell easily and get money out of it. So the Bitcoins in 2016, sorry, which is something like 7 billion against 12 trillions in money supply, which is, I mean, the whole money system in the United States. If we compare the Bitcoins in terms of percentage, it's 0.05%. It's nothing, it's peanuts. Well, in 2015, Goldman Sachs came up with the number of 1.5 billion in equity debt. And equity debt in Europe by P2P lending and crowdfunding against 925 billion made available by standard loans from banks, which is only 0.16% in FinTech financial. So just have to keep in mind two numbers, 0.05, in money circulation, Bitcoins, and the FinTech in general, it's 0.16%. As I said, it's nothing, it's peanuts, except tomorrow is everything. Why? Because that number, the first one, the 7 billion in 2016 in Bitcoins, raised in 1 year to reach here. This is not my graph, by the way, this is the blockchain website. That number raised from here, this is November 2016, but before it was 7 billion, to reach something like 84 billions. That's almost 13 times or 12 times. It's increasing, but it's not soaring. It could be exponential, but the Bitcoin's technology has to have to face some major obstacles, overcome those obstacles. And those, I'm just gonna enumerate them as I see them. The first one is there is no regulation at any stage. So in the Bitcoins and the blockchain technology, you have dodgy businesses that operates within, like drug dealing, terrorism financing, and it has a name now. It's called, if I'm not mistaken, it's the shadow banking, right? Yeah. And the second problem is there is no third party, no middleman, no one as an intermediate. And that bothers a lot of financial institutions because they're not making money, you know? And so they started questioning their credibility in 2014 with the devolution of the Bitcoins. And they said, it was quite amazing. Why? Because they spoke for the first time, big banks and financial institutions, they spoke really simple language for the first time. And they said, with the Bitcoin's technology, you can win a lot, as you can lose everything. That's very, very, very volatile and very dangerous. The third problem, and in my point of view, is the largest one and the biggest one. It's the non-understanding of this technology. We still prefer a peer-to-peer money relationship rather than a screen-to-screen one. I prefer to go to the branch myself and speak to my banker rather than log in a dodgy website, give my bank details and start trading when I speak about digital finance. So what are we doing to embrace the change, to live up with it, to keep up with it? Social awareness and educational system, I would bet. But guess what? We are not there yet. Because what's happening, I teach finance myself to master's students, and the courses, the manuals, are so outdated that we are teaching history of finance. We are producing a new generation of useless bankers, in an era of digital marketing. Everything is going fast and faster. So I'm just wondering every time, anytime, when I start teaching, how come in most business schools we don't have digital marketing, digital finance as a lecture? Just a lecture, not a master, but just a lecture. It's not a luxury, it's a must. So when I say that, I'm just gonna bring my personal experience. When I started my last company, MICC, and I moved from the financial area to the higher education field and consultancy, and I embraced the change because I used digital marketing. I was learning because I was the financial guy yet, and I got great results in early stages because I embraced the change. All changes come with a great opportunity ahead. And when you work through something new, be ready to face two major obstacles. Obstacles that come from within, but not from your surrounder. Obstacles I named as the impact of your failure and uncertainty. Uncertainty comes from the fact that you are doing something new, a major breakthrough, and you have no one to compare yourself with. The second problem is the impact of your early failure, because you are learning. Don't expect to get great results from the beginning. You have to fall down before you shine. And those two obstacles that you have to overcome are coming from within. No, and you have to work on yourself because, as always said, you can get away from yourself, as he said, by moving from one place to another. The real deal is to face your biggest fear, dread, and threat, which is you. The you that stops you from getting what you really want, what you deserve to be, not to get. I'm not talking about money. Doesn't matter anymore. All changes come, again, with a great opportunity ahead. So embrace the change and open to yourself new horizons. I say amen to that, and thank you, everyone.